What's going on, everyone, and welcome to the Trail Theory Podcast. I'm Brian.
I'm Alex.
I'm Austin.
And I'm Pfeiffer.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of Guy Who Co-Hosts a Podcast about backpacking but never goes backpacking. I'm your host, Austin, and tonight I've got the boys from Trail Theory who are going to talk to us about their next trip.
Welcome. No, wait.
Hey.
It's good to be a guest.
Yeah, it's good to be it's good to be here. Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
great
of course,
to be
guys.
here.
No, in all
Thank you for having
seriousness, in all seriousness, the boys are headed out on the trail. Unfortunately, I have to stay behind. I have
Diarrhea.
I got a new. I've got diarrhea, and so I can't come. No,
Incurable.
I've got a new gig, and life happens, so you can't always get out on the on the trail. But I'm happy for you guys. But tonight I thought that we would do a little bit of like a interviewee type of thing where I just ask you some questions, and we can just I can kind of host tonight. Does that work for you guys?
Yeah, that works. This is going to be interesting for me. I'm at a different spot that I have been for any trip that we've ever done.
Are you not prepared?
Dude.
Have you laid out anything? Have you knolled anything?
No.
So I'm going to pause you there.
No.
Before we even get there, we got to say where we're going. Right?
I don't even know.
Let's let the
No, I'm
host.
just
Let's
kidding.
let the host
Yeah.
take it.
Okay. Yeah.
We got to put ourselves.
Question
in the
number
not
one:
host.
where are you going?
Alex,
I honestly, no. Hold on.
know.
I
forget
because I haven't.
I know where we're going.
I know too.
I haven't.
So-
I ask, and honestly, part of this too is because I honestly haven't been involved in any of the planning. I know the state you're going to, and that's
Yes.
literally it.
So we are going to the Black Forest North Loop Trail, and that
We're
is in the Tayadaten.
Hold on. Let me
Wilderness.
write this down.
Is that how you
That
say
is
it?
how you say it.
Tayadaten?
Yes.
God bless you.
Tayadaten.
I'm
You're going to have to remember that.
glad that you found out how to say that because
Well,
I will
I had to look it up because I was like Tayadaten.
I saw it on the map, and I'm like, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Like,
I
there's
sounded-
no
no,
way.
I am- not gonna work here anymore.
every attempt I made to pronounce it, I sounded like Arnold Schwarzenegger. So I went and looked it
You
up.
got to
But
find
yeah.
a YouTube video of somebody who's been there and knows.
But
how
then you have to
pronounce it.
trust that person to make sure that
Right.
they were the one that
Well, try to
pronounced
find,
it
a
correctly.
legit-
Yeah, but
Like
once you hear it twice, I
Right.
mean, it's like, okay.
Yeah,
The
then that's
actual
it.
pronunciation is Tayadaten.
Tayadaten.
Yeah, and so it's the north
Tayadaten.
side. There's a north and a south. So if we were doing both, it's like 60 miles or something. So we are doing only the north.
We are doing more than just the one side because we
Correct.
decided to bake in some additional miles.
We are actually doing, I don't know, maybe another 5 or 7 miles. I can't remember, 5 or 7 miles.
part of the south.
Part of the south.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's our total?
30. I thought just under.
I think it's just over 30.
So real quick, this
Yeah.
is in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
What
Central-
area?
Central PA,
Is
yeah.
there like a wilderness or not a national park? But
Yeah.
that is
That
actually
is
the name of it.
I
Okay,
think
cool.
it's a wilderness or
State forest or
something like that.
Something.
But yeah, that's the wilderness area that
Gotcha.
we're in.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Very nice. What made you guys choose that? What were some of the other options, and what made you choose that one? Was it proximity? Was it just?
So one was proximity because we try to do at least like 2 main trips a year,
Right.
as we all know. And with this year, our second trip is going to be out west, so it's a big ordeal. And this one
so
we wanted
closeness
to
felt more priority here,
Try
although
and,
it kind of doesn't matter.
I mean, it's only 4.5 hours from where we are, Northeast Ohio.
Right.
So it's not.
Oh, that's close.
Yeah.
That's got to be one of the closest.
when we
it's
went,
gonna feel like nothing.
the Red River in Kentucky was
4
5.
hours. Oh
Between
no, it
4
was
and-
5
it
hours.
was
Yeah.
5,
So this is closer.
Probably
than
the
that. What was-
closest one, right?
I think the
Dolly
closest.
Sides
Dolly
is
was about
the same,
5,
about
little
4.5.
over
The
5.
closest one that we went to was the wife packing trip. That was maybe 3 hours.
Right. Was that in
maybe
Allegheny?
less?
Allegheny National
Allegheny,
Forest.
yeah.
Also in PA.
Right.
But
So we
yeah,
just figured
so-
that was probably best, just to not have a ton of drive time. We're not doing.
Unless you want to throw a wrench and just pick somewhere different this week.
Nah.
throw it in the hat.
You know what? I did say this when we were. Oh no, I did say this on the podcast. I think the last episode, or the episode before that. But if it's pouring down rain every day, we just need to pick a different spot. I think.
We go back to the red.
I'm totally cool.
back to the
we
red.
Can go to Dolly.
Go back to the
like,
red.
Yeah.
If we
or
just
something.
decided if we got in the car and looked at the weather.
Yeah.
I I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. We could
Just
do
this isn't like
I'll get some McGill's.
there are this isn't
Yes.
like last
for
year when
sure.
we did the whites,
Right.
Or
Right.
obviously going out west. It's
This
like
isn't the iconic
you can
trip.
Yeah,
Right.
you can kind of call an audible
If we
last
wanted
second
to.
if you
Yeah.
wanted to. There's enough places within that like driving distance that it wouldn't be that
Right.
big.
Right. There's
big of a
usually
deal.
one like main trip of the year, which this
Yeah.
year's out west. But last year, or it would have been the Whites or Adirondacks or.
And if we got in the car and
Linville.
someone was like, guys, I really want to go here instead. Okay. I wouldn't be
Yeah.
like upset for like an audible
Sure.
on this one specifically. Although
Right.
I will say, and I was doing some research and this entices me some is people, the internet says that this is the hardest
People.
trail to do in Pennsylvania.
Which
Oh.
man, that's so surprising. Just looking at like the elevation and stuff like that, there's
one
really
section.
one little section.
Yeah.
You know what's awesome about that
Like-
though? It really just entertains me is we thought, and we still talk about it being pretty difficult. We did Loyal Sock,
Right.
which
Yeah.
was in PA, and we thought it was pretty hard.
That was
So,
our-
so
a
I'm
long
kind of,
time ago.
That's
It was
true.
an early trip.
I'm not. I just don't want to like discount
Yeah.
it, right?
Yeah, but the hardest trail in Pennsylvania might be like the hardest game at Chuck E. Cheese. Like,
Right, it could
also
be.
might not
It
be
could
that
be,
difficult
yeah.
because
Yeah.
there aren't that many difficult trips. But I mean, based on your research with like elevation and what
I mean-
other people have been saying in your own research, do you think it's going to be mild? Is it going to be somewhat hard?
I think this is going to be a pretty
Right.
easy trip. I mean, we're looking at it is 30 miles.
Yep.
It's 4,058 feet of elevation gain,
But-
and the first day is almost half of it.
Right.
Oh, okay.
It's very
So
condensed.
The first day we have planned is almost 9 miles, and it's 1,719 feet of elevation gain. Which
So it's
really
like
isn't
you,
that
you
bad.
get up and
Kinda
then you spend a
cake.
couple days up,
Yeah.
and then you come down at the end.
Yeah,
Like,
okay.
I mean, it's
I mean, there's some variation.
I think
and stuff,
there's going to
but-
be some challenge. I'm not.
also
I'm not
I
saying it's
wonder
gonna be easy,
when you
but-
read that, do you know if it was about the full? Because the loop is the full loop, the north end
Yeah,
full
yeah,
loop,
yeah.
right.
So I imagine that
Maybe
is
it was the full loop.
Pretty. I mean, that's probably pretty.
That's what it is, right? That's the,
Right.
the
Yeah.
iconic one, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure that it's the full 40 or whatever 50 miles that it is.
Yeah, because I know I was talking to my dad yesterday, and I mentioned we were going there, and years, decades ago at this point, but he did the same outside of the a little bit of the south that we added.
Oh, is that right?
He's done the north. And
Oh,
he
that's
loved it.
cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
and
Mike,
so
my brother Mike did the full loop,
okay, yeah,
and he
right.
said, it was pretty okay.
Okay.
So, and I think at a
and he
similar
would be
timeline. So.
like he's done what we've done. So
Yeah.
he would
Yeah,
be
yeah,
like
yeah. He's a good
truthful and
gauge.
he's a
Good
good
judge
gauge
of it.
to like
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
we're used to. So
and
that
it's
makes
all.
sense.
I mean, honestly, even the ratings on All Trails or whatever that other one is that we've checked sometimes, it's all relative. I mean,
Hiking project.
hiking project.
Right,
It's-
yeah.
I mean, it's based on what early on in our early trips and everything since then. Unless we were really going for a cake trip, like when we did Dolly 2, we kind of designed that to be easier. We're usually leaning on the more challenging end of things. So
Typically.
the general population might say, "Oh, this is really hard."
Right.
But if we've always gravitated towards that, for us, it'd be like, "Oh, it's more standard."
But
Yeah.
even Dolly
You know.
2, the second time we went, we still did the hardest stuff at
Right.
Dolly.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just that's the type
Right,
of
right,
trip that
right.
we
Yeah,
picked,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. So it's
It's relative.
I'm expecting it to be pretty casual.
But and I would also argue too that some of the difficulty could come in the unknown.
Right.
We don't
As always,
know. I mean, the one steep section. I mean, I remember looking at the 3D terrain map, and it was.
I mean, it's pretty steep.
It's
it's
that was steep for a mile.
It's gonna whoop
Yeah.
some ass, man. I'm
It's
not-
steep for
it,
a mile.
it got to 65% grade at one point.
Yeah.
yeah, that's like
I mean, you're
A
climbing
fucking wall.
You're 3 points of contact at that point.
Yeah, 3 points of contact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
I mean, it'll
that
be
wasn't it steeper than? Didn't we?
There was sections
determine
of
it was
it-
steeper
yeah.
than the Adirondacks.
There were sections of it
Mount
that were
Marcy?
steep.
That
Deeper than
one
Marcy.
little part.
Yeah.
Is it technically one point of contact if it's just your whole body rolling down a hill?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's correct.
I think
Wait,
if
I
you're
don't think that's
rolling,
any
that's
contact.
none.
Yeah, that's none.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess so.
That would be none.
or all.
all points of contact. That's when you're at the bottom.
Right. I just hope a
Splayed out.
phone gets
Splayed
pulled
out.
out at that point and someone, can record
We
it.
have to record this. I know that he's tumbling down probably to his death, but
Right. I can't catch him anyway. So
here we go. We might as well catch video.
Oh man, yeah.
No, it'll be that section will be fun. I imagine I because it's also PA, Pennsylvania. I think those sections are going to remind me a lot of Loyal Sock.
Yeah.
Because especially in the down, where areas
Are we
of
close to
Sock,
Loyal Sock?
I mean, same state.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
Pennsylvania's not small though.
It's not small.
I mean, I'd have to look it up. I'm not sure.
I don't
can't
know
remember where it was.
geographically what it is.
But there were down sections in Loyal that I remember, like my knees just being on fire because
Yeah.
we're like
So
it's
interestingly enough, and I think so this will be my 4th trail in PA. And I thought they were, I mean, aside from the wife packing trip, which we did a trip with our wives, that trip was, I would say, relatively easy in comparison. But other than that, I would say the other the other two that I've done, I mean,
challenging, yeah.
In the like confines of like that time in history of when we've done this, I thought that one was my second trip. I did I forget what it was, but the Tracy Ridge Loop.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And I thought that was relatively difficult. It was also like 95 degrees, so
Oh God,
that made it
hot.
different.
It's
difficult.
it's gonna be hot next
It's
week.
gonna be hot when we're there.
And then
Yeah.
I thought Loyal Sock. I mean, granted, I know it was early, but
You were sick, and it was our second or third-ish trip for you.
Yeah.
tremendously lost.
We also, I mean, we
Got lost.
haven't been out in 9
8
months,
months?
8
Yeah.
months. I mean, this
that
could
sucks to
this
think
could
about.
absolutely wreck us. I mean, it won't, but I'm just saying it could be harder than we think.
I went for a trail run today for the first time in a while, and man, it wrecked me. Like
I could tell during setup when every time you moved, you're like,
I was like, I'm trying to get off the floor. I'm like, oh, my knees. Yeah, we're gonna see what happens.
yeah. I'm
We're gonna
excited
see
to
what
get
happens.
I'm
It's gonna
excited
be
to
a
get
good trip.
amazing.
excited to get a pack on again.
Yeah.
and just be out there.
Make it happen.
I'm expecting. I mean, it'll be somewhat.
I have felt my body in like my mind, like I can just tell, like if I'm in the house or something like that, or I'm at work or whatever, I can feel like this weird like pulse, like I have to get outside right now or I'm gonna go fucking crazy.
It's also like just turned so beautiful.
That's
It has.
exactly it. Yeah.
Like
I will
here
also,
in Northeast Ohio, it just like became unbelievably
The
beautiful.
days are
outside.
longer.
Today was like
It's
Everything out, and even the trees and seeing the
my
growth.
gosh.
I'm really, really, really hoping, fingers crossed, that when we get out there, not everything is brown.
I think it's gonna be pretty green. I mean, it's pretty green around here.
I think you're right, and I'm hoping so because
Can I do a weird tangent?
it's been poopy brown a lot.
I have,
you can't.
I have so
This
many.
isn't your interview. No.
I have so many pine trees.
I'll allow it.
On my, thank you. Damn it! I have so many pine trees on my property, and I've never noticed when one huge one, like just monstrous. I've never noticed when they start like developing pine cones. There's like hundreds of thousands.
Oh, yeah, dude,
it's
yes.
ridiculous.
Really?
Because I looked at the tree and all these like red specks, like reddish kind of red brown specks were all over the place. And as I was driving in, and I never noticed that before somehow. It's not my first time seeing a pine tree like in this time of year.
Right.
But then I walked up to it and I was just each section, like each dot I was seeing from 50 feet away was like a dozen little pine cones
That's
starting
crazy.
to grow. And it goes all the way up a 60
We
foot
had
tree.
haven't
we had a
noticed
big
it.
60-footer
It's
too,
insane.
and it developed a lot of them as well.
That's cool.
And
Yeah.
total tangent, but like,
Yeah.
yeah, this time of year when everything's like coming to life, we've
Yeah.
talked about that on like when we were at the Red, and you that,
It
that
is
time of the
it is
day,
a
the time of the
special-
year, it's
and special time.
And pine
Yeah.
cones don't like drop, right?
No, ours my
Once
tree
they- I mean,
dropped.
they
Do
grow-
they?
they
oh,
grow
yeah.
out
Are they
on
like a
the-
mess in your yard?
They were a mess in mine.
that's what blew my mind because I've been there for 3 years. I've never noticed
Really?
walking around being like, oh shit, all these pine cones. But looking up,
You thought
I'm
it was like your neighbor's dog shit.
They were
if
all
all
over
of-
my deck.
if
because
all
it was
of
next
these
to my
missiles-
deck.
if all these grow and fall, I'm like, I'm gonna be buried in pine cones.
Yeah.
Like, it
Man, you're
looked
gonna
like
open
so
up an Etsy
mad.
shop.
So-
It's like my first pine cone.
In my yard, I have like a
Put
couple
googly
hickory
eyes on
trees, and they're beautiful, right?
Yeah.
But dude, during the fall, the squirrels like battle up
nuts.
there, and it's
Yeah.
like just not.
Going
It's like
nuts at each
they're
other.
chucking them down or chucking them at each other. They like fight. They're like,
Yeah.
it's pretty insane. There's
Listen.
been a lot of squirrel drama in my backyard before, but like
just
always
be
like.
glad they haven't invaded
I was
your
That's
gonna
home.
true. Yeah,
There's
we've
been a lot of
talked about
squirrel
that.
drama in the studio.
Alex's
They were
previous
in
experience
this
with
room.
squirrels.
Yeah.
There have been live squirrels in this room.
But like they drop in it's such
Nuts.
a mess, dude. It's such a
what,
mess. in
what
my
did
backyard.
they drop?
Oh, just the hickory. Like they're like big, kind of like nuts.
Oh, I have that shit
Almost look
too,
like
man. And
walnuts.
they're fucking everywhere.
They're everywhere, and they're like split open because of the squirrels. So
Right.
it's
Yeah.
not
So it's
like
a
they're just
shell.
like
Yeah,
balls.
yeah.
It's like one piece like this turns into 5 on the ground. 'cause
Yeah,
it's
dude.
Like, it's just like
In the spring,
splintered
we
everywhere.
run them over with the mower. And
That's exactly where I'm
Yeah.
at
Right.
now.
You're
And like
spitting it out.
I have one of those neighbors, one neighbor that's like this because he puts everybody else to shame, but also like everybody isn't perfect with their yard. This dude's perfect, right? So like there's literally a line where his like looks like Augusta National
Yeah.
the Masters, and then there's like a line and it's like
Yeah.
this dude's yard's not bad, but it looks like shit compared to
I
his.
feel terrible because
He-
mine is just dandelion central.
Oh, is
Really?
it?
And,
Yeah.
and my next door neighbor is just
Do we have our
perfect.
lawn sprayed? How did we get on
Same.
this conversation?
I don't know. Pine cones.
But anyways,
Oh my God,
he like when I moved there, he's like, "Oh yeah, I had like 3 or 4 hickory trees." And I'm like, "Why the f could you do that? Hickory trees are dope." And I was like, "Oh yeah, your yard's like
That's
perfect,
why.
and my yard is not."
Yeah, fucking nut city over there. I thought you were gonna toast this guy, and I was like, I'm gonna go put a DVD of the episode in his mailbox,
Oh my god!
so that he can go into Brian's garage
Yeah,
and steal
right.
the DVD player.
The only one that still exists in
No, I
Ohio.
think my
Yeah.
DVD player's in the house somewhere. I think it's in the
gosh.
basement.
No, this
maybe.
dude's like, I've asked for advice. He's giving me
got
advice. He let
Airbud
me
in
borrow a couple things. And listen, my yard's never gonna look as good because I won't take the time that he does to make it look
Yeah.
nice. But I appreciate it. It looks really nice. It's just so funny to see like literally the line of
Oh,
the
yeah.
neighbor right next to him and his, and it's just I gotta take a picture and show
So
you guys.
let me ask this
I'll show you
though,
mine,
because
too.
this
It's
is
bad.
so perfect.
This is the critical question. Now that we're talking about yards, and then we can get
we'll
get
get
back
back
on the
to it.
top.
Yeah.
You know, we can take this from a home improvement podcast to
Back to
backpacking
back,
and outdoors.
yeah.
Is this person directly next to you?
no, he's
Okay,
across the
thank-
street.
No.
Yeah,
Then,
yeah.
then you're golden.
No,
no, it's
mine
perfect.
You
is.
just don't want to be next to the perfect
Because
yard
then you
person.
have to compete.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll send you a picture then. I'm not only next to one, but 2.
Oh, that's a
You're
bummer.
sandwiched.
I'm
You're Oreoed
sandwiched.
in.
Oh,
Yes,
that's
I am
trouble.
Oreoed
That's
in,
the
but you gotta
pressure
do
is
something.
So
You
it
either
goes-
have to do it yourself or
it
you
go-
got to hire people.
Right. It goes Augusta and then dandelions.
Yes.
Augusta again.
Damn it.
Whenever
Those two-
either of
so
my
much
neighbors
pressure.
mows, it's
Those-
like I gotta get out.
Dude, those two people talk about you constantly.
Oh,
They're like,
guaranteed.
that motherfucker.
That
his
tall,
yard,
skinny bitch.
This guy
Yeah.
isn't doing anything to the yard. It's making the neighborhood
Ruining
look
my home
bad.
I'm
value.
fortunate that like
Yeah.
somebody on my other side is worse, which is, but and then the other guy is like the same. So
Yeah.
like yeah, luckily
That
I'm not
helps.
right.
But there's
you have to
I
take
will
a
say
picture.
there's a
all
there's
relative.
a difference. So there's the yards in the neighborhood that like the fleet of landscapers come in, all the different companies, and just start going out and doing all the work for everybody, which I don't pay anybody to do my yard. And then there's my one neighbor, everything himself. I got to give him a ton of credit. He's out there
Dude,
every
that is day.
Bless
It's
him.
impressive because like okay
caring
again
for
we're
it.
still on the subject, so we're gonna just talk about it. Like today I mowed for the first time my front yard, and
Yeah.
like I love the first couple mows. I hate the rest of the mows. Like I just, it's such a like I hate the task.
yeah.
But like the first
The
couple
chore
is just
of it.
the smell. It's
Yeah.
beautiful out. You're finally in shorts. It's like it's just so nice.
Yeah.
All right.
I've had to do
Question
mine a few
2.
times. Yeah,
Backpacking.
okay, backpacking.
Who's going with you?
us 3
Us three.
Us
and Alex's cousin Greg.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
that's, it.
it.
Just
That's
the
it.
foursome.
Yeah, it's a
nice.
foursome.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
boys.
Yeah.
We had a couple people drop out kind of last minute.
Paul was going to go.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
going to go.
And I think Mike had some interest, but I just don't think it worked
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
So
For his schedule.
He's a busy
timing
guy.
in spring for everybody, right? I think
Yeah,
that
so
was the challenge.
there's just 4 of us
I
on
know.
the trip.
So we'll be missing Austin, obviously. But we knew you weren't going to this one.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's funny is I'm pretty sure on Sunday when you guys are coming back, Mike is coming over to my house for tacos. We will be doing something
So
together.
sounds like we're eating tacos on Sunday.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Make a few crash the party.
What time is dinner?
That's right. It is Cinco de Mayo.
That might-
it's Cinco de Mayo
That
on
might be the
Sunday,
post-trip
so-
meal.
I don't know if we
Find a
can break
Mexican
tradition.
place.
Dude,
I don't have enough
that is a
food
good
for
point.
you.
We'll have to find a
I'm
Mexican
kidding.
place on the way
I
home.
know we
There you
typically
go, yeah.
I know we typically do wings.
I don't know.
and-
I don't know if I'm willing to sacrifice.
Come
that.
on.
We
If
might
they-
be making 2
Margaritas?
Dude,
Maybe
yeah,
two.
you have to.
Someone has to get us home.
Well, okay. Listen,
I'm not saying
You can
that.
have a margarita.
Oh yeah. I'm aware.
Well, tacos is
I will.
more after, and so there has to be. We have to get wings and tacos.
We'll
That's
talk.
it.
We'll
Wings and
taco about
tacos.
this.
Okay,
Later
wings
on.
can't not
That was the
be had.
worst dad
I
joke.
think.
I know. I'm a dad. So it's allowed.
So
Okay.
small group. 4.
Small group.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Small
that's
group,
cool.
small
And
group.
yeah, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, no van rental this time.
No
We've
van
typically
rental.
done in
As
the
fun as
past.
that is,
It is fun, but it is
Yeah.
kind of nice to not have to horse with that.
right.
Yeah.
It's one,
Less,
one less thing.
Less logistics. The big. I mean, the
I just have
most
to get
complicated
Chipotle
part.
the night before,
Right.
for everybody.
Most
Are
complicated
you
part is
doing
on
that?
Greg because he's coming up.
I'm intending on.
Okay.
Chipotle. Yeah.
I mean, I have.
Wednesday.
It's tradition.
Freeze them.
Yeah.
Get them all.
I don't freeze them. I just put them in the.
In the fridge.
put 'em on
in the
ice.
cooler.
Right. And
Yeah.
then-
Yeah.
Double
They're
wrap.
on ice.
Double
They're
wrap
not
them in foil.
frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put them.
We've talked about a lot of creative food things that we haven't really fully fleshed out yet. I know you're bringing Taco Bell also.
Let's
Oh
just,
my God.
Yeah.
Let's just
It's happening.
That is such a mistake.
It would
Coming
be a
from-
mistake.
I guess it's not.
We're
like,
gonna
be a
find
mistake
out.
for
We'll
me.
find out. We'll
I
find
mean,
out. Yeah,
okay, so
not
that-
everybody gets.
I'm
the
not
I don't
rub
ever
about
get.
Taco
Yeah,
Bell.
man. Taco Bell.
Nah,
This,
dude.
I mean, I got no issues, man.
Hey,
I just want to try something. Like I've done cheeseburgers, I've done pot stickers, which might also happen. I've done Chipotle. Like I don't know. It just feels like
that
why
was going to
not?
be one of my questions. Is getting into like what meals are you bringing? What food are you bringing? So
Let's start with night one.
Night
What are you
one,
guys thinking?
Chipotle.
Food-wise?
I'm doing Chipotle.
So Chipotle is, I think, we've pretty much already
Plan is Chipotle.
We're going to a place that allows fire.
Yeah.
So
Okay, yeah,
we're gonna
that's
have
good.
fire.
Nice.
So in our packs on Thursday, we'll have a chilled Chipotle burrito. We'll warm it up and crisp it up a little bit on the fire on Thursday night, and that'll be dinner. And then snacks, like for night one, I imagine, because you mentioned pot stickers, and
I will, I think the setup is much better. I now have
Well,
a
you have a
little. I have
skillet.
a skillet.
yeah.
And I'm gonna
That's
bring.
going to be so much nicer
Oh,
because
yeah.
those bad boys were burning.
I couldn't move them around in the cup.
Yeah, that's true.
So now that the
Oh, that's right. You were doing them out of a Tokes cup.
And you
Yeah.
gotta use a little bit of
Yeah.
oil. So if you're bringing like a
I
little
can
bit,
bring
you
the
gotta
oil.
do a splash.
I might
dude.
bring some tallow. Want to do them in tallow? instead?
Wow,
sure.
Can do that.
Bring
All right.
bring
Bring what?
luxury
Tallow, beef fat.
beef fat. Yeah,
Yeah.
tallow. I know.
Yeah,
This guy is so
gonna be-
much.
We don't call him
luxurious.
beef for no reason.
yeah. It's gonna be
Yeah.
luxurious night one.
Sounds good.
But yeah, Chipotle and snacks is
Yeah.
kind of how I'm.
and then I'm just. I mean, it's really just for shits and giggles. I'm like I'm gonna throw a little
Right.
Taco Bell burrito in there,
Yeah.
just for fun, just
I mean,
to see. Right?
There's
Just to
gonna be
go.
there's gonna
There's
be
gonna be
circle-
shits.
There's gonna be circle
and
meat.
giggles.
circle meat.
Circle meat. There's
Circle meat.
That's gonna happen. It always happens.
We typically hold on. You and I, for whatever reason, we typically say it at the same.
We say
time.
circle meat at the same exact time.
It's happened like the last 4 or 5 times.
Because we don't go in order
It's just
anymore.
happy.
we
Yeah.
don't. Yeah.
And so I'm like, I guess
especially
now
You
it's
just
my
have
turn.
to. Someone just has to say it. Like, if
used to
someone
be-
says it, everyone has to.
Used to be
Before
the
video,
circle.
we used to sit at a table kind of in a circle, and it was like we went around a circle. And now that we're in a line, it's kind of
a
like,
little-
ooh,
yeah.
like this is a
How do
little.
we do it?
I guess.
I don't
Well,
know.
we'll have to practice circle
yeah.
meat a few
Whoever
more
says
times.
it, the person.
I think we got to go.
So
this
then
way.
it goes down the line, and then back to the person that didn't get to say it.
Counterclockwise.
So
then?
if I say it's circle meat.
circle meat.
circle meat.
circle meat.
Yeah,
There we go.
how
There we
it's
go.
done.
All
Sorry,
right.
Hey,
gotta-
you know what? We've
it's
just
on-
lost
live
a
on
step.
air.
You
Live
know?
on
Live on
air.
air.
We figured this out. Problem solving.
Hey,
is the name of the game.
videos new. We're still figuring some shit out.
They've seen how the sausage is made at this point.
That's right. Inside baseball.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Yes.
So yeah, night one will be, and that's why I consider this trip more of like a casual one, because those are the ones we get a little more not creative, but
Oh no,
like
it absolutely
like
do.
Fat Boy with food a little bit.
Yeah,
I thought-
absolutely.
I still think I might do it.
Boy.
It just depends if I've got time
Yeah.
on Tuesday or maybe tomorrow. I don't know. But I would love to bring a steak.
Yeah.
And
We
I would
talked
love
about
to
that.
slice it up and then marinate it.
Yeah.
And then are you still bringing your food saver bag?
I can.
Like sealer or
we
whatever it
had
is?
talked about we may not need to do that
You
if
don't
we have a
think?
Ziploc, and
So
then
should I just Ziploc it?
I think if
Marinate
you,
and Ziploc
I
it?
think if you Ziploc it,
Yeah.
and if
a
we
freezer
keep it in the
bag.
cooler until we hit the trailhead,
then we should be okay.
we'll be
Yeah,
fine.
because our burritos just sit in
That's
our packs
true.
until we cook
That's
them.
true.
Yeah, yeah.
I think
because
it'd be fine.
you've done a steak before, Austin, and
Well.
it came out beautiful. Gordon Ramsay himself would have shit his pants.
in shame.
If he
in
ate
shame,
it.
actually, in shame.
If he ate it,
Yeah, no.
I think you would have looked at it and said, "Not eating that.
Not
gravy."
eating that. No, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it up into slices, marinate it, and then because you've got a smaller pot,
Just do little pieces.
I'm just going to do little pieces.
like a Korean
and-
barbecue,
like
man.
guys-
No, that makes sense.
Guys,
Yeah,
just
love
kind
it.
of do it that way.
Guys,
All right, well,
you
someone,
didn't have a pan the last
someone's
time.
gonna have tortillas.
I'm gonna have tortillas.
Oh,
too.
we have little steak.
I'm gonna have
steak
tortillas
tacos.
as well.
Some
Fajitas?
Little steak fajitas.
Holy
There's your
shit.
Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah,
okay?
but you know
There
what?
go.
We're gonna be we're gonna
How
have
do you get
we're
a
gonna
margarita
Mexican on
onto the-
Mexican?
Well, we
So
already
we're
did. All right.
gonna do we're gonna
Yeah.
do Chipotle and another taco.
I mean, we would.
Listen, man,
In the spirit of Cinco de Mayo.
it's night one.
It's not even Cinco de Mayo that day.
I just feel like
Close
The lead up.
the rest of the trip, I'm just gonna eat like a bird.
Yeah, I
'Cause
think
we're
I
gonna
might
eat
have
so
to as
much
well.
night
that
one.
first
That's
night.
not true for me, but
That's gonna be true for me.
Yeah, ostrich.
That's usually the night for me where I'm
so
just like.
is anyone?
snacky.
They're
well,
thinking
actually,
sparrow. You're thinking ostrich when it comes to eating like a bird.
I'm. Yes,
Yeah, that's what you're
Wait,
saying.
is an ostrich a bird?
it is. Do they
a
eat?
flightless bird.
Hold on though.
Wait, what's a penguin?
An, an emu is the same thing as an ostrich. I guess it is,
They're
right?
all birds.
They're all
A
birds.
it's just a
I thought it was.
flightless
I thought it was
bird.
something. I thought there was a specific species within that whole thing. No,
A bird.
I don't know anything about
It's
that. but I'm
Ostricus capanicus or whatever? No,
I
it's
have
a
no
bird,
idea.
dude.
Not a bird guy.
All right,
Not a
I'm
bird
not
guy.
a bird guy. Yeah, I don't know. I don't watch birds. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Wait, you don't have to be a bird guy to know that an ostrich is a bird.
Maybe I don't
Oh
know.
my god, that's amazing.
He's
I
gonna
love
look it up.
that. Is an ostrich? Oh yeah,
Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel. Come on.
ostrich a bird.
Holy shit. Man.
I'm not the first person to ask that because it came. Yeah, okay,
right.
it's a tall flightless bird. Okay.
You're the second guy to ask that.
Yeah.
Because the first guy who ever saw an ostrich said,
Right.
"Is that a bird?"
It's not flying.
Yeah.
The fact that
I thought there was a subspecies in it.
No, well,
We should talk about this longer so
We
you can
should.
feel worse.
It's the
I'm kidding.
heaviest. If it's the heaviest bird, I can tell you that.
thanks to the
I
wonders
can
of the
tell you
internet.
that.
Yeah.
Have you ever? All right. So have you ever eaten ostrich?
No.
I haven't.
I have.
I have.
I-
yeah. And it was pretty good.
Have you had
Didn't we-
ostrich egg?
Yeah, we had it at the same place at different times. We found this
Oh,
out in a weird
we
way.
did.
Yeah, we
You're
were
right.
like,
Yeah.
I was like, I had ostrich the other night. It was crazy, and you're like, I did too. And we're like,
Yeah.
this is the same
That's
place.
right. That's right.
Have you had ostrich egg? I've heard that's
No.
a unique.
I've seen it.
experience.
They're
yeah,
fucking
they're
huge,
massive,
man.
right?
Yeah. It's like
and
quail
the,
eggs. Yeah.
The yolk is like huge, obviously,
it's
and
like a
orange.
baseball.
Well, no,
Yeah,
quail eggs are like real tiny.
Right.
Quail eggs are like
Oh,
that.
what's the other?
Yeah, they're small.
So it's ostrich. There's another egg that's like big.
Like dinosaur egg.
Come on,
no
bro.
shit,
No one's
man.
getting dinosaur.
If we ever found a fucking dinosaur egg, we'll cook it in my pot.
or we
That's a
can
good
make,
night one
or we
meal.
can
Yeah.
make millions of dollars selling that.
Yeah, dog.
Yeah,
Dino
nah.
egg. Yeah, crack that thing open and it'd just be dust.
What's happening?
What would be the
I don't know,
tastiest
dude. This has been
dinosaur?
so
Well, birds are
off the trail.
dinosaurs, so
That's true.
It's all the same thing.
There's something like I
Yeah.
saw something like a chicken is technically a dinosaur.
Yeah.
It's
Sure.
kind of like a tomato is a fruit. It's is it
Fine.
is a chicken
I
a
don't know.
dinosaur?
Rectangles
We're
is
splitting
square.
hairs
Yeah.
here.
We're
Fine.
splitting
So
hairs.
so what on the food topic we're there. What do you guys bring in snack wise? I mean, I know I feel like we've
snacks.
covered this at length on other
I'm
episodes.
flip flopping what I normally
mixing
do
it up?
for some snacks.
Yeah, tell
Yeah.
us.
What are you thinking?
I typically do some Snickers bars because I love that little like candy
Because
crunch.
he gets hangry, you know.
Yeah, I'm going to Baby Ruth.
What?
I had a Baby Ruth for the first time in forever,
Did it
like
rock
2
your
nights
socks?
ago, and I'm like, this is a fucking great candy
Yeah.
bar.
I
So
agree.
I'm gonna
I love
move-
Baby
I'm
Ruth.
gonna move to a
Here's
Baby
my
Ruth.
question though: doesn't that shit melt in your bag?
I've never had it melt.
Really?
As
As long as it's not in sunlight. I
It's
guess.
amazing how like kind of temperature controlled your pack is.
Yeah.
It's when it's really cold out, it'll like if you have a Snickers bar, it's going to be hard. Like it's not going to be.
I don't
you know,
think I've ever had my candy bar be hard or soft.
Well,
I think it's
if-
just been
if when we were at
my candy bars.
whatever. Candy bars.
You guys are sick.
Hey man, you're the one talking about hard and soft.
But
not
I know
us.
I've taken chocolate bars and stuff, or even just like the Cliff bars or whatever. And,
Yeah.
and if it's really hot out, if
They-
it's in
they
your
can
pack,
be
it kinda,
very- yeah.
it kind of stays. It doesn't melt away into nothing.
The
It-
cold,
I
the
feel like
colder
softer, you know.
is more noticeable than the
That-
warmer.
That's exactly what I'm
Which
trying
is
to say.
funny because
Yes.
like if you take a candy bar and put it in your like coat pocket, it's melted in
Oh,
a
for
minute.
sure.
That's what I'm saying. If it's
Yeah,
in the
it's
pack, I
body
think
heat.
there's. I mean, I guess the insulation of the pack itself is
Yeah.
just like if it's in the brain on
Yeah.
top and the sun's hitting it,
That might
I don't have
you're
the
done.
brain.
But when it's
Yeah.
if it's
You gotta
in
let
your
that
dry
puppy
bag,
cool
you
down in the
know, yeah,
package.
yeah.
interesting.
So yeah, Snickers will do all right.
I don't typically. I know you bring the candy bar for
Yeah.
sure, and
I've never been a
I've never.
big.
Same.
I'm always a
candy bar guy.
little bit jealous, but then I
Yeah.
just unravel the Haribo gummy bears.
I'm bringing
and
those too,
I'm
though.
happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really thought about like the extent of all my food. I usually get into this situation. I go to the grocery store probably like tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right. And
probably
it'll
go
just
tomorrow.
be like, I'll just start fucking grabbing shit. And then I'll get it to the basement and I'll start like laying my shit out and I'll look at it and I'll go, wow,
This
man,
is too much food.
this is aggressive.
Yes.
Like, how many
Yes.
snacks are you going to eat all day?
Yep.
You don't need a bar every 30 minutes,
Right.
you clown.
Yeah.
So I usually just really pare back. And then I've gotten to a point where, and I need to do this before I go, so maybe I'll do it tonight. I have just a bag. Just a fucking bag of food that is ultimately it's like the offcuts from trips because like I've got like
Didn't make it.
Yeah, it didn't make the cut, right? It's I think I have like
BT.
3 freeze dried meals in there, and like I just always get an additional one. So I'm always like, I got a stock room of food.
Yeah.
There's
You need to go shopping at
bars
your
in
house
there.
before you go shopping in the store.
I need to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
But the gummy bears I do need to buy, which I mean, that to me is like that's what makes it special for
I
me.
like the gummy bear.
I do.
What's-
I want to
it's-
bring some Spam.
I've
'cause I wanna
never-
fry it up.
Are you?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Most of the time, outside of the, I haven't done it in a couple trips, but the Gatorade gummies, like little caffeine
Oh, the
gummies,
gels.
yeah,
Yeah, those are good.
I used to bring those pretty much every trip. But outside of that, it's really like you give me a handful of Jolly Ranchers at the beginning, and that's
I
Yeah,
know.
dude,
I know.
same.
The Jolly
Like, I don't-
Ranchers are critical.
Same thing.
I don't
I
bring
don't
any.
ever
My
bring like
father-in-law-
a dessert or a treat
Right.
like
My
that.
father-in-law gave me a bag of Jolly Ranchers for Easter, so I've got a bag.
There
It's
we
not
go.
a huge bag like I have usually.
Usually
It's just a
it's
small
so
one, but
much.
and I'm
Yeah.
gonna pick out the ones I want, and then I'll give you guys whatever the rest is. So you're not gonna
Beautiful.
get any cherry or blue raspberry. I can tell you that.
yeah. My snacks are usually like
Wow, those
Me-
are the ones.
Maybe one or
steal
two. Maybe one or two.
mine are usually like either the Gatorade gummies or like
Blocks.
Slim Jims, meat sticks, and
I'm going straight to Gushers. Like
Dude.
I used to do.
Gushers.
I used to do the gummies that had the caffeine and stuff. I just straight up. I'm like a 12 or 13-year-old kid on the trail.
Generous.
when
Yeah.
it comes to junk food.
I'm like 8 or 9.
8 or 9, fine.
But instead of Halo, it's backpacking.
You're gonna
Yeah,
rip out the
yeah.
fruit by the foot and go,
Dude, yes. And
I learned how to
the
make
by the
homemade
foot-
fruit by the foot from like Real Fruit the other day on Instagram.
Are you gonna make it?
I probably won't have time. I don't have
Wait,
a dehydrator.
Dehydrator, yeah.
I know.
That's-
Dehydrator.
I've got the dehydrator. No,
Alright,
that's like
you need to do
one
it.
of the like main things is like the fruit.
You have to do it for like 12
yeah.
hours or something like
No,
that.
no, no.
right?
yeah.
I mean,
like
yeah,
2.
that's not bad.
Two.
No, it's longer than that. But like, it's
Instagram
it's
Live,
not,
go figure.
dude. It just sits. You don't have to like
Yeah, I
sit
know,
next
right.
to the dehydrator, right?
Yeah,
you
man.
just press
You're not
it.
staring at it.
Yeah.
Boop.
But dude,
Watching
would be
paint
alright.
dry.
you've
Yeah.
brought Gushers
Watching
before.
fruit
Gushers,
dehydrate.
fruit by the foot, and fruit roll-ups. Fruit roll-ups are an awesome trail snack because they weigh nothing, and you can ball that shit up and put it in your mouth like a big league chew, and it is.
That's
brilliant.
the only way to eat it. Like,
It is
I was-
brilliant.
I was just about to say I'm surprised no one's brought Big League Chew.
Big
on a
League
trip, yeah.
Chew.
dude, you know the
I don't do
payoff.
big old
the,
tub.
Dude, Big
the
League
Big
Chew
League-
sucks.
Yeah,
30
dude.
seconds.
The pouch-
For 30
the pouch
seconds
is
is great.
cool,
Yeah.
but then like 5 seconds into it, you're like, I'm just like chewing my spit. Like it's gross.
And you can't really like just spit that out and just leave it because
Dude,
then
it hurts your
Leave no
fucking
trace,
jaw,
man.
dude.
Then you're breaking leave no trace.
It
You got to
hurts-
put it in a bag.
It hurts your jaw,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
No.
Whatever happened to was it Gobstoppers? What happened to?
They're still around.
Oh, that's like like they're
Love
hard.
Jawbreakers,
They take
dude.
forever.
Yeah.
Jawbreakers, yeah, dude.
Is that still a thing?
I always like those. I don't
I
know
did
why.
too, man.
Those made my
didn't
jaw.
have the patience for 'em.
They call them
Yeah,
jawbreakers.
I didn't have the patience for them either, but
Right.
they're still good.
Yeah, well, and then like you'd like let it like you'd take a break and then like never go back to it. You know? It's just like okay.
And it was like this drooly ball of shit on the
Nah, dude.
counter.
on the wrapper it came in. Just
Yeah.
Once it's out of the mouth, it's gone. It's in
Yeah,
the
once
trash.
it's in,
Yeah.
it's gone.
No
Oh my
way.
god.
Jeez,
Yeah.
it's incredible.
What dehydrated meals, freeze dried meals are you guys bringing?
So
I'm ready.
I'm so ready. If you watched our last episode, we tried.
A couple episodes ago.
Was it a couple now? Oh
Like
yeah,
2
yeah.
or
I guess it
3.
was 2.
Yeah.
We brought ReadyWise in, which is something I found at a local place.
You brought.
I brought ReadyWise in.
It's some
And,
no oodles, baby.
I went back. I got the no oodles again because I loved it, and I got another meal that is a Alfredo pasta, chicken Alfredo pasta from the same from ReadyWise.
ReadyWise.
And then I'm getting a couple peak refuels. Hopefully they deliver before then.
Pfeiffer, there's you need 2.
I was gonna say we're out for 3 nights.
No. There's 2 dinners and there's 2 breakfasts. You guys don't do dehydrated breakfasts. I would die.
Here's what we're doing every morning now. Are you ready for this? We're gonna have to just sit by the fire and wait for this fucking guy to just eat and heat up his breakfast.
And be gracious. Be glad.
I mean,
because you get more time to embrace nature.
It's a cake trip, I thought. Yeah, come on.
Enjoy the sunrise and just have coffee.
Sounds like a breakfast trip.
So after our freeze-dried meal episode that we last did, we were all like kind of blown away, or most of us were blown away, at least by the quality.
3 out of 4.
Yeah, 3 out of 4 really liked the Ready Wise because it was like it was $9.
Yeah,
but you don't like
mushrooms.
the flavor,
Yeah.
right?
I hated the flavor. I hated the flavor.
But like the quality, the price, the calories, everything like that was like hidden so many positive notes. Afterwards, I like did a little research, and ReadyWise, the brand, they do like, because we were reading the back of the package, and they do like a lot of different flavors and everything like that. But one of the main things that they do is actually survival food, like long-term food kits,
like prepper stuff.
And so, like, I'm looking on my phone now because I was literally just looking at this the other day, telling somebody about this. So, they've got like kind of doomsday prepper kind of stuff, like
stuff you can put in
bomb shelter,
your
bunker, that kind of
shit.
thing.
Hell yeah!
They have one item that you can add to your cart right now. That is a 4,320 servings of long-term emergency food supply.
Oh my god!
It's like it's like 48 pouches of lasagna, which is 288 servings. There's like 48 pouches of creamy pasta, chicken noodle soup, stroganoff, like Southwest beans and rice. There's like all these flavors, right?
Yeah. What kind of HELOC you got to take out for this?
Yeah.
It is. So hold on, I'll get to the price. Let me do some of the stats though, because there's like all these. There's even like some desserts and stuff like that. Okay, it's 36 buckets. Okay,
dude.
Like
so
a
when you're in
5-gallon
this bunker, you can just bury yourself in fucking pasta, lasagna.
It is a total of 929,000 calories, so almost 1 million calories. All right, it's 513 days of food at $1,800 calories per day. Right, so.
Wow.
If you're doing that caloric intake, because you can make it stretch probably if you're in a survival situation. But technically, like 513
calories
days.
if you wanted to.
25-year shelf life. So pretty decent. It weighs 720 pounds too. The price is $10,400.
Oh my god!
Wow.
Yeah. I feel like they're punking people, right?
Dude.
Like, I mean, there's people out there with shelters and stuff.
I want to know who the who's bought one of those things.
I want to call them and be like, how many of these have you sold?
So,
None.
There
Zero.
are verified reviews on their website, and there's a couple of these that are like,
I'm never coming out of my basement ever.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these look like legit.
Until nothing happens in 25 years, and then what are you going to do with all that food before it expires?
So obviously, there's people who are going to buy it simply for that prepper kind of mentality.
Yeah, and if it gets wasted, it gets wasted. They want it to be
whatever.
Yeah, $10,000.
Yeah, those people pay
over 25
so
years
much for their bunkers and everything like that.
Dude.
That's nothing.
I mean,
I don't know.
Their artillery
wasteless
is probably like way more than
but
that.
I didn't know the price until you just said it right now. But I'd be curious to do the math, because if you are someone who really goes out a lot, or you're part of like a team, or like are funding this for a group that goes out a lot, and you just want to have a stash that you can always pull from.
All right, well, what's the math then? How many pouches come in that? Divide 10,000 divided by that. What's the unit price?
No, I can tell you how many
what's
pouches.
The number? Because then it's like, are you just funding the next 10 years of your backpacking?
Of your trips, yeah.
You know.
For everybody
if you like
know.
it that much.
But yeah, but then you got to, then you're fucking locked in.
You're locked in.
And then imagine someone brings you some like fucking,
I don't disagree.
You know, whatever, and you're like, oh, I really wish I could have that, but I've got 9,000 pouches of fucking Ready Wise.
So it's like it says 513 days of food. So like,
it's probably.
But that's
2 meals a day.
I don't know if it's like
probably
2
pouches a
day.
day.
Yeah,
because the meals usually hover around 600
calories.
calories. So it might be 3 pouches a day.
It's $10 a
So you're not even getting a deal. You're not even getting a discount.
I don't think that this is a discounted type of thing.
You would think,
specifically
though, if you were
designed-
buying that much, you would be getting some kind of
like
bulk discount.
$6 a pouch or
where
something.
else can you buy?
It's a very
buckets?
niche.
I don't know.
A very
Peak
niche
Refuel
market.
sells
there's
a bucket.
Because there's a bunch of
You're right. Peak Refuel does sell a bucket.
But
You're
not
right.
$10,000.
There's like 30 different types of variety of food. There's like, so it's thought out. and that's what you're paying
and it's,
for.
And it's obviously
is for the SKU.
Yeah, it's obviously a very niche market. Like,
I don't
very few
disagree
people.
that
They're not selling a bunch of these.
They've
No.
thought it out
But
for you.
You know what they also sell? And because I saw it at the store, they sell like a 3-day version of that. It's like a
Right.
little pouch.
That's fine,
And it's
yeah.
like, there you go. You're
This
set
is
for the week.
also
That's more reasonable.
Okay,
Yeah, that's
but
fine.
this is also the extreme version. They sell.
Right.
They have 30 other SKUs based on how much you
Right,
want.
right.
So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that is like the most of it.
Yeah.
They have like probably like, you know, instead of a 513-day thing, they have like a 300-day one or a
Right.
100-day
Right,
one
right.
or a 30-day one. So they
I think
have different
the
versions
difference
of it.
is this is at least the first brand I've seen that like intentionally goes out for that market. Where Peak Refuel will sell like a pack of what is it, like 20 or maybe 16 pouches, and the point is not for doomsday prepping. The point is
No.
like now you have some. Like
Right.
you just use this for a while
For
until
your
you
trip,
run
sure.
out. and
Well,
then do it
also
again.
like if you're like doing mountaineering or something like
Right.
that, and you
Right,
like
right.
need something for like
Yeah, expeditions and stuff.
Expedition.
Yeah,
that's
or
what
like
that's
you're
for.
doing a camp or something, and you've
Right.
like you're
Right.
kidding out like 10 kids or whatever.
Exactly.
Like
Right.
whatever, it doesn't matter.
I mean, they're just going after a market.
So
It's
you got
volume.
you've got some doomsday pouches. Brian, what are you bringing?
I
for
am
some,
bringing
freeze dried.
Peak Refuel pesto pasta.
Oh baby.
Beautiful. I have
Love
one
it.
still left over.
That's what I'm using it from because
So good.
we didn't have a last night on the trail for the whites.
Right,
So
right.
We were gonna
I have
do a
my
pesto
pesto
party.
pasta. Yep. So I'm gonna have that on night 2, and then because it was so good for freeze dried episode 4, I went with the kung pao chicken from Mountain House.
Ah, very
dude,
nice.
It was
Yes.
so
it
good.
was so good.
That was good.
That's gonna be some
So
good meals.
those are my
Good
2
eating.
meals. Yeah.
Good eating. It's gonna be a very tasty trip.
I
think.
thought we were going to be synced up totally on all the meals.
Really?
Are you going with
Pad
Old
Thai with
Faithful?
chicken.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Pad
Yeah,
Thai.
of course. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's always.
I just
Yeah.
can't, man. Can't get away. I'm stuck. I'm stuck in a rut.
Gummy bears and pad
That's why I'm
thai.
bringing Taco Bell night
Oh
number
my
1.
god, dude.
So what was your third night then?
You need
Oh,
something.
Pesto
pesto.
pasta.
Oh, there you
Nice.
go. Okay.
Yep.
That's why I
All right.
thought we would be synced up. When
Oh,
you said
right,
that, I
right,
was like,
yeah.
"Oh, baby, we're locked." in. Like, obviously, we're not. so.
Amazing.
Oh, you can
I'm
try some of mine. I'll try some of yours.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'll have if the Peak Refuel stuff comes in time, I'll have 3 meals I've never tried before on trip.
That's
So
Ballsy.
And they're all
I'm
breakfast meals?
risky.
No, 2 dinners. So the other Ready Wise, which is the chicken Alfredo.
Wait, so you're bringing 4 dinners?
no,
5?
I'm bringing Friday night and Saturday
He just
night.
brings
Okay.
a full f***ing freeze-dried meal for breakfast.
I'm bringing 4 pouches and 2
4
breakfast, 2
pouches.
dinners. Yeah.
It's aggressive.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's aggressive.
Wow.
How do you?
I would die. if
How?
I ate that much.
It's too
I don't
much
know.
food for
Too
me,
much
man.
food. We need. I mean, that's do the math. I'm probably getting
I'm
maybe
trying to lose
2,000
some weight on the
calories
trip.
in all of that food that I'll be eating, and we're gonna
Yeah.
burn way more than that.
I'm hoping to be in a massive calorie deficiency this week.
coffee in a bar,
Not me.
baby.
I can't.
Coffee in a
That's
bar.
the breakfast
Yeah,
for me.
I don't
I
even.
can't
Some
afford
mornings
that.
I don't even want the coffee. I mean, most mornings I do, but
I
I
always, I
Sometimes.
always do. I like the.
want
heat
it in the
more than
evening.
anything.
Yeah.
You know what I am going to do, though? Because I've been doing this at home a lot, and I know you're going to be somewhat upset about this,
Uh-oh.
Toe socks.
Austin, for those that aren't watching. I'm bringing tea for at night.
Well, let's just use pine
Because,
needles.
because
Yeah, I mean you could
Because tea-
tea makes sense with
because
pine
tea
needles.
He
with
is
honey-
sweating right
tea
now.
with honey is so delicious.
That's fine.
I
And
do gotta
I'm
bring
doing that
honey
at night.
again.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You're not using pine needles to replace coffee.
I'm not using it to replace coffee, no, but I am bringing tea on the
That's
trip.
not. No,
Yeah.
I'm not upset.
Okay,
at that.
good.
We're good.
He's still gonna be
That's
pissed
not
at me,
triggering.
even though I didn't suggest you replace coffee with pine needles.
You
But
kind of did.
You did.
But-
you kind of
you
did.
know.
I'm going to side with him on that. You
I
kind of
will
were
say,
suggesting
I
that.
actually think for me, on that topic, I think the coffee at night when we're sitting around the
Good
fire,
call.
or like that to me
always
is
been
more
good.
critical than the wake up, because usually we go to bed so early
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
we
but-
wake up and I'm just like, let's go.
I
Yeah,
couldn't-
I guess so. I just like it's more of like the caffeine.
Yeah,
Like,
but I
don't-
couldn't do
I
the
wanna get a
caffeine.
good
I
night's
wanna-
sleep, and
yeah,
that
I don't
would
want to have the
affect me.
caffeine
Yeah,
before
that's
bed.
fair. That's
Yeah.
fair.
Because I get it. Because like, believe me, like the main thing with coffee is like the warmth and the smell, and like that before bed is so great.
Yeah.
But it's also the caffeine would affect me
Yeah,
too much.
Yeah,
I'm not
that's
having.
fair.
I'm doing decaffeinated tea.
That
So,
yeah. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, caffeinated tea is like
at that point, just drink hot water.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's what I'm going to do.
I love that for you.
Oh god.
I usually like it right around like
I like a cup
6.
of tea. A
Yeah.
cup of tea and a
Yeah,
cup of tea.
Okay, yeah, that makes
kind of
sense.
in the evening before we eat. I don't know. just
Oh,
kinda
that makes
nice,
sense, I guess.
something warmish.
So, okay, you guys got your meals down. So, rifle off anything new in your pack. What are you bringing? What have you gotten since the last trip that is new to the pack? That's new for this trip, or maybe like replaced or
Ooh,
anything like that. Upgraded.
I have a
downgraded.
good one and a major one. That's probably more major than anything. So the Nemo bag, I haven't used it yet.
Sleeping bag.
Sleeping bag.
Sleeping bag.
You have a tensor, or not a tensor? You do have a tensor, but
I have a
you
disco.
have a disco.
Yeah. So I've had the pad for when we went to when we were at the Whites, but it was after that I got the disco. So my wife and I they were like 50% off at REI. It was
I know,
wild.
that was
and
crazy.
so we
Did you do
got
a down
the
disco?
Yeah. So we
Yeah.
got the male and female.
Yep.
And I haven't used it yet.
30
So-
degree or what?
What's the one below that? Was it 20?
15.
Might be that one.
Wow, you're gonna be warm.
I know. I'm probably gonna leave it like
You're gonna
just
be
over
warm.
me. I don't. I'm gonna try it anyway.
Wow.
But I am excited to just have it out with me because I haven't used it.
I
yet.
got a
It's been
15
sitting there for months.
I've got
and
a
I'm not
15
used
degree
it.
Nemo that I bought. It was the first piece of gear that I bought for a Rainier
Yeah.
because they were doing. It was 50. I was like,
Right.
I have to.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's
why not?
yeah.
You're gonna-
It'll probably be unzipped completely and just like laid
I
on
think
top of me.
you're gonna be so
barely.
hot.
Yeah.
You're gonna like walk by his tent in the middle of the night and the Lucy light's still gonna be on. He's just gonna be ass naked with his butt sit up like laying on top of it because he's too hot.
Dude, I might even.
ew.
Can Lucy
I might bring my my quilt because my quilt goes down to 45, and I think the coldest is gonna be
58 or something.
What is it?
It'll be in the
58,
50s.
Yeah,
56,
dude, it's
58.
gonna
That's the
be
coldest?
super nice.
That's so warm.
gonna
so
be nice.
I can.
Unless it's
Wow.
raining, then I feel like rain just makes everything colder.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
mentally.
But the only thing that I don't like about the quilt is that you're right on top of the pad, and I feel like if
that would
it
be
is gonna
enough of a reason.
if
for
it
me.
is going to be hot and it's going to be like a little sticky, I don't want to be sticking to the pad. Even though the tensor is
gonna say-
tensor pad's somewhat soft, but then I also thought about, well, what if I've got the Cocoon like silk liner, and that's maybe, I think that adds maybe 8 degrees or something like that. Like, what if I just use that with the quilt? It still weighs less
Put that
than
between
the
you and
Nemo
the pad.
Disco, and it's still between me and the pad. Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like
honestly,
the-
I haven't done any research with this trip, and I feel like I'm going fucking crazy with it because I maybe it was because you guys you didn't give me a hard time, but I've always been the one that is like obsessed with doing a lot of research. For
Oh, no,
these
we give
trips.
you a hard time.
we just
We give you a hard time.
illuminated who you are.
We give you a hard time.
And I don't know if that was a little back of my mind or what, or I just had other things going on. But like, I just didn't do any research. I didn't. I think I don't. I didn't watch any videos.
So let's be
the
honest.
only thing that I did was build the.
I was going
the
to say
trail.
your version of no research is still like building out the entire
yes,
route.
true.
You know,
But
with us, but still.
yeah, but that was it. That's all I did,
Well, welcome to the club.
and I'm feeling a little anxious about it.
Don't.
I think this is of all the trails we're doing, like probably a decent one to be a little less prepared.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, I read an article when we were doing like an articles episode a while ago, and we never ended up talking about it. But I think it kind of shaped the conversation was more around like your mental state and like you being creative as a person when you're less prepared.
Yeah.
Because you're just kind of going out there and you're
Rolling
like really
with it.
open to
Yeah.
what's going to happen. And there's a part of me that while I prepare, I like watching the videos just because I think it's cool just to like
Sure.
get an idea. And it still never paints the full picture, which is cool.
Right.
But I don't necessarily nerd out over where the water is and all
Right.
that shit on the trail. I kind of let that just kind of happen. But it would.
Yeah, but we
you know-
kind of go over that when we do our trip planning.
Yeah, I know.
Meeting,
I know,
and
but
we
I
build
don't
the whole
remember
thing.
it. You know?
Also remember though, a lot of our time and energy has gone towards planning the West trip this year, because that's
Yeah.
been a lot more like
Effort,
There's just a
yeah.
lot
logistics.
of logistics.
There's
and trying
so
to
much
figure
more to
that
think
out.
about
Right.
and so much more to do, and also it's like that's the big pie in the sky
Right.
Grand
idea,
poobah,
you
yeah.
know, that's the focus. So
In comparison, this one seems like we're
we're
weekend
just
out.
we're
And
just
you know
going
what?
out for the
Yeah,
weekend.
right.
Maybe also because I have Rainier coming up and it's
That
close to
too.
this trip, and
Yeah.
maybe I've been so obsessed about making sure I have everything ready to go for that. and the West trip that this has just been kind of on the back burner. And maybe that's why I've not done so much. I've just been preoccupied with those other trips.
That makes sense. That makes sense for sure.
I think we're going to be okay. We'll have GPS and all those things.
I think we'll be perfectly fine.
As long as we stay on the trail.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
guys, just leave no trace.
This trail has tons of water. The water's all over this place.
We're following it the whole time.
I think at one point, I'd have to go back and look at the map. At one point, we like cross a stream or creek or river, whatever it is.
6 times.
Yeah, like 6 times within a mile.
Yeah.
You're just like,
Yeah, you're just going back and forth between.
Snake
Croc
it.
City.
It's gonna,
Croc City.
Yeah,
just keep your
Crocs.
Crocs
Just
on.
keep
The whole
them on.
section is going to be
hiking
Crocs.
in Crocs.
So one thing I wanted to talk about, and it's not necessarily gear, but it's a piece of tech, and I got to do a little bit more research to make sure.
I'll have something to say after this too.
I wonder if it's what I'm going to say.
Go ahead.
So All Trails now has that live tracking feature.
Oh, I don't know about this.
They have a new like track feature, which in my mind kind of replaces the need for like the InReach.
Yeah, for your family to be able to go in and look.
I'm going to try it this trip. I was thinking I would share it with you.
Yeah.
And then I would share it with Allison just for
you,
S&Gs.
Austin,
but
for the listeners.
yeah, that way.
Yeah.
That way you could then you'll know exactly where we are on the trail.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
And I don't know if you can like ping messages or whatever. Well,
test
I'm
it out.
interested to try it out, right? Because I know we've talked a little bit at length on the InReach Mini, which is the GPS kind of pretty basic, couple of buttons, allows you to kind of shoot some notes out. But
You have to pay for a subscription for it.
yeah,
And it's
and-
$500.
Right.
yeah, and All
hefty piece of
Trails
gear,
is a
too.
lot cheaper for the Pro. So I'm curious. I don't know. I have no expectations. But I'm very curious to see just how it functions.
Yeah.
What type of communication you get, and just letting someone else know, like, hey, we're here.
Right.
I don't know. That's kind of cool.
The live tracking piece of it is cool.
Be nice for the wives to kind of like peer in if they wanted to kind of just check out where we are.
Yeah, I mean, like, is he moving?
They've been in this spot for a long time.
That's
What are they doing?
That's a
Someone's
cliff.
got diarrhea.
yeah.
Why is he squatting? Well, it's not that detailed.
Right,
Not
I was gonna
that
say,
detailed. Not that detailed.
I think it's probably like a dot or an arrow or a map. is my
That's
guess,
funny.
but,
No, the thing that I was going to say is I'm bringing a camera
that's right.
for the first time.
Multi-camera
that
trip.
camera right there.
Yeah. Hey, you.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
one.
The
So,
one we're looking at.
I'm going to try to
not-
get some video.
I'm not gonna bring mine
Liar.
You're a liar.
because of that.
You're a liar.
That's
I'm
not-
that doesn't do photos. That's strictly video.
So you're not going to
mean,
shoot any stills.
I'm-
You're just sticking.
I'm not
you're
shooting
doing
stills.
video only. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, you won't have Paul on the trip, who
I
also
know.
does
Yeah.
video. so-
Right.
I intend on doing some video too. I've been really noodling with time lapses.
Yeah.
And some stationary
Good old
stuff.
camp setup, time
Yeah,
lapses.
That'd be cool.
and,
That'd be really cool.
I've been doing some tests lately, so I mean, we'll see. My expectations are very low, but I'm excited nonetheless. I'm bringing my camera.
Are you
As
bringing
I
some
do.
pod
Are you bringing that
content?
new
Yeah.
film camera?
For you,
I'm also going to
folks.
shoot some film,
Yeah.
which will be fun. But that's it. Nothing really like wild to the setup. The film camera will be heavy, but it'll be fun.
I will
So-
say that. So I did my lighter pack last week, or late last week, and I started adding in some of the stuff like the camera stuff that I was going to have to bring.
After you added it, did it kick you to a heavier pack?
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
It is.
You have exceeded the weight limit of this website.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not,
Congratulations.
honestly, the camera that I
Have
have.
you heard
is,
of our sister website?
Yeah, right. The camera I
It's
have
just
isn't
garbage.
a very big camera,
Yeah,
so
it's
it's
just
not
built like
it's,
shit.
It's not gonna.
It's like it's for toddlers.
It's like lime green font on
Yeah.
like light
Yeah.
pink font
You
or
can- you
bright
can barely
pink
see it.
font.
I mean,
In Times
you guys.
New Roman.
I'm
all
adding
Comic
an
Sans,
additional
Comic
almost
Sans.
4 pounds. It's 3.8 pounds for the camera stuff.
You're lucky.
Which the lens that I have for this is very light. I could bring a different lens that's double than the actual body of the camera weighs. I'm not going to do that. I'm only bringing one lens. I am bringing 4 batteries, but the batteries are small. They're very lightweight, but they don't hold a charge very long.
Yeah,
And that was the one
mirrorless
thing-
cameras struggle with batteries.
Yeah, man.
kind of the
So-
opposite of what a battery is supposed to do.
but I'm bringing the 3-bay battery charger and an extra battery bank to only charge,
charge
those
those guys?
batteries.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I haven't.
How long does 4 batteries get you in video? Like in
video is that's for me personally.
It
it's going to drain it.
That is the wild card.
Yeah.
Because I don't typically shoot a lot of video.
Yeah.
I'm getting into it because hello podcast.
Right.
But I don't know, and that's why I'm curious. I think I'm going to bring 5. I usually, if I'm just shooting stills, I probably use 1. I bring 3 typically.
Yeah.
Just I don't know. Sometimes I get a little trigger happy. I don't want to run out, right?
I think I can do it maybe 40 minutes, maybe 30 minutes on a battery.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's a good amount. I mean, well,
it's a good amount. That's it?
40 minutes, yeah.
Dang, I shot an hour the other day just as a test time lapse. I did an hour-long
really?
time lapse.
Time lapse, I think.
Yeah,
is
these
different.
batteries suck.
Still had full battery. Maybe like 1 of 4 bars.
What? How big
Yeah,
is
no,
your
now the
your
ti-
batteries are pretty big though, aren't
Yeah,
they?
and I mean, dude, I don't know. I pull my lighter pack up. I mean, my camera
Yeah.
stuff is fucking heavy.
Yeah.
and I haven't
You're like
even
7 pounds or
Oh,
more.
dude. My camera with 1 lens is 7 pounds. I'm probably 12 pounds in camera gear just in that shit alone.
Damn, that's
Damn.
great. That's not
I
even.
don't know.
Your camera stuff alone is not ultralight.
My base weight right
Well,
now is
I don't think it can. Yeah.
no,
that's-
you can
yeah,
never.
If you're bringing that stuff, it immediately writes you off.
Of course not.
I
Yeah.
also
Ultralight
haven't
stuff.
I haven't weighed the film camera yet. At this point, I don't care. I'm just taking it.
No, I don't. Yeah,
It's going.
and that was
Yeah,
the thing
so
is like I do
want to add it up.
I want to be able to shoot the content. I want to be able to have fun with it. I feel like we've talked about this before, and I think Austin's mentioned this as well, that it kind of slows you down a little bit.
Yeah.
We're so fast on getting to camp that sometimes we miss things, or we could miss things. And I think for me, I want to make sure that this trip is relaxing. I want to make sure that I get the reset that I'm looking for. And I think adding in the element of having to stop and kind of look at, a tree or leaves ruffling around or whatever it is, and kind of capturing that, it stops me. And it really puts some intention behind some stuff. And I'm excited about that element of it.
My theme word, I saw something on Instagram. Well, other than beef. But deliberate is like
yeah.
the word I want
I
to take
like that.
into this.
Intention is what I'm taking.
Right.
That's
And
the
it's
word
like,
I'm
I'm not doing any
Yeah.
of the, I want to try and do some stuff with my phone or whatever, but you guys are handling that. My job is to just sort of be there and like, oh, look, that's a nice place to stand.
Be a personality.
Right.
A model.
But
personality.
He's the
but
personality hire.
I saw like some just
The meat
it was some
puppet.
random video about like just being deliberate in even the mundane. And so if you're just like picking stuff up off the counter or whatever, and like slowing down and being very intentional and deliberate about a very simple thing that you're doing,
Yeah,
and just getting
it's-
joy from that.
So just thoughtfulness. Yeah.
Slowest known time. No.
So we're gonna be hiking at
Snail's pace. Quite literally.
quarter
snail's
of a
pace.
mile per 3 hours.
That's a great thought, and I haven't really, not that I've not reflected on what we're gonna do. I just think for me, I'm also I try and slow down every time, and I will say the camera, it will help you do
Yeah.
that. You'll also kind of feel like you're annoying everybody ever so slightly.
There's only 4 of us, and 3 of us
Yeah.
don't care. So, Greg, I guess we're sorry.
Yeah, but some
you know
of
what
that
you're getting into.
just like I feel like it's kind of like weightlessness out in the woods, and I've been like binging YouTube stuff lately and watching some stuff about just people kind of being like sharing that thoughtfulness, and I think that for me is just kind of being in my own head a little bit and just kind of allowing silence to creep in.
Right.
I mean, there's so many, we've talked about it on the podcast before, just how often do you have time that is
Right.
quiet, right? And having those moments, I think for me is so nice. I don't even sleep in a tent alone, but
Right.
it's going to be great. And it's going to be awesome trip.
To piggyback on what you kind of just said too, I think the older I get, and the more I'm kind of thinking about, I love being able to tell a story, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I love doing the podcast so much, is because we get to tell each other stories, we get to tell other people's stories, tell our own story, and I'm excited about having the camera for that in order to kind of help tell a story and to deliver a story and
vision,
to kind
you
of
have
create something.
a new medium to
yeah.
share. Yeah,
And I'm excited about that part of it.
it's gonna be great.
I'm excited about that.
I'm like
cool.
so much more excited about this trip than I was when we started this episode. So.
Well, that's how it goes when you start
Yeah.
talking about it and
That's
revving
true.
up and everything
So
snowballs.
soon.
I'm extremely jealous. I'm happy for you
We're
guys.
gonna miss-
Wish
we're
you
gonna
were
miss you,
coming.
bud.
Thanks for coming to my episode. Episode of guy who hosts a backpacking podcast who doesn't go on backpacking trips. It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. Do we
Thanks.
get anything to be on the podcast?
Do I get a swag
did we
bag
get
or
anything?
something? Yeah.
No, get the out.
Oh, okay.
No.
All right. Well,
Man, we didn't even talk about
how it
snakes.
goes.
Snakes.
snakes.
Well,
Wait,
for
what?
another
We're
day.
gonna see some rattlesnakes
Snakes.
while we're out there.
Talk
for sure.
about it. Well, you guys are going to do one from.
We're gonna do
trail,
one for
right?
the trail.
Well, we'll be out there.
We'll do a trail
Yeah, yeah.
episode.
See, let us know if you
I
see
hope
any.
we don't see any snakes.
We're gonna see
There's
snakes.
apparently a lot of rattlesnakes. out
Dope.
there.
Brian's gonna freak
Timber
out.
love it.
rattlesnakes.
I f***ing hate snakes, dude.
We're gonna find
Hopefully
out.
we get
man.
on
You
camera.
guys are walking first. You got the sticks.
Yuck. Well, yeah, I guess that is true. I don't know. Am I gonna have sticks?
I'm
Are you
bringing
guys
mine.
bringing your?
I'm bringing my trekking poles. Yeah.
I was going to ask, are you guys
Yeah.
bringing your trekking poles?
It's I've decided.
I don't know. Should
I don't
I?
care how simple I think the trail's going to be. I've decided I'm bringing them all the time.
There you go.
It's
You're a
just-
stick man.
I like
I
it.
guess
They're
I'll
in.
have them.
They're in.
But like, I'm gonna have the camera now.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what to do.
You've been
This is a-
welcome.
this
welcome.
This is why
to my
you're
world.
so
Uncharted
unprepared.
You know the
Uncharted
problem, though?
territory
We better
here.
stop this episode so Brian can go
freaking
prepare
out.
for this trip.
So it's
problem
freaking
is-
out.
Head can go explode.
You have gone with sticks,
For the last
3 or 4.
and now
Probably
you've got to
5
decide
trips.
Yeah.
if the camera is worth not bringing sticks. I have always carried a camera and never gone sticks.
huh?
There's going to be some life
I don't know.
lessons
You didn't
learned
just talk
on
about
this
sticks
trip.
for 15 minutes, so I'm pretty sure it's the camera over the sticks.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll bring them
The
just in
goal
case.
is you're excited about.
I am
Telling a
excited about
story.
that. I'm excited about telling the story. Yeah.
I'm excited
You
for
can always
you.
put them in your pack. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that- I'll
they
bring
are
'em.
so light.
It's not like
bring
they're
'em.
glued to your hand.
I'll bring. And I got. Yeah. That's true.
Edward 40.
I was just going to say Edward 40 sticks.
Oh man. Well, we're
gravy.
excited to get on the trail. We're excited to podcast from the trail. When we do, we'll obviously release that episode. I think we'll try to maybe shoot a little video
Yeah.
of us
Yeah.
doing that too. So
Get some good content out
you'll
there.
see some of that stuff. So we really appreciate everyone listening and watching. If you haven't checked the YouTube channel out, go to Trail Theory Podcasts on the YouTube search engine and search for us and look up all the stuff. We've got some of the past podcasts that we didn't do video for on there, as well as the last, well, this will be third video that we have done. So
YouTube,
Go check it out. Leave comments.
check it out. Leave comments. Let us know how you're liking it. And
Say hello.
yeah, say hello. Don't forget to like, subscribe. And we'll see you next time.
Get off my lawn!
The Trail Theory Podcast is sponsored by Audimute and Audio Technica. Music by Dan Coke.